Although renowned for her inspiring music and compelling vocals, it is her obedience and faithfulness that has sustained LaShun Pace throughout the years. It is a great honor to present to you the anointed LaShun Pace. What's the word today? Bring to life what you say when we speak.
Molten na hiwat, Pamilas ich nacho.
It happens in time, the new age sublime. When we speak, clean crystal glass, life all won't last.
Death and life
When we
are in the
speak.
power of the tongue.
Got a reel for you. Understand more the truth when we speak. When we speak. Thank you. You got your little ATL hat on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to tell you something about ATL. When I was little, I always wanted to live in ATL. You know why? Because you lived in ATL.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You need to stop.
I'm dead serious. That was the main reason why I
That's
wanted
an
to live
honor.
in ATL. Yeah, and you are my favorite gospel singer of all time.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jermaine.
you are.
Thank you.
And this
That's
interview with
heart-touching.
you is prayers answered.
Oh,
Prayers
wow.
answered. And we'll get
Thank
into
you.
that though. 'Cause
Okay.
your ministry has touched my life.
Oh my goodness.
Whole life. So
Thank you.
so I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad and honored that you would sit here and talk to me. It's like
Oh.
it reminds me of the song you used to sing that I can't remember how it felt
Oh,
to be
anywhere
but
else.
where I am.
Yes.
And speaking of your songs, what is the first song that you remember singing in front of an audience?
Oh my goodness. I think I heard Vanessa Bell sing it. It was My Father is... I'm a Child of the King.
Okay.
I think that's one of the first ones. That was way back in the day. I was a nobody. Still nobody.
No, you're not a nobody now. Maybe back then, but you're not now. You are LaShun Pace, which stands on its own.
Thank you.
I remember being a child. I'll just tell you a little bit of my story. I remember being a child, and I would grow up. Bullying. People think bullying just started. Bullying's been going on forever.
Yes.
And I can remember growing up in school, being bullied,
Yes.
and going on to the army, still being bullied.
Wow.
And I remember taking LaShun everywhere I
Oh,
went.
no, man.
And I remember, I tell people this all the
I
time.
need
said,
to interview you. That's an awesome testimony.
And I tell everybody that I remember, my roommate in the Army, he always says this. He said, oh, I knew something was going on when I would hear that LaShun Pace playing. I knew something was going on with you.
Oh, my goodness.
But I have taken that everywhere I've gone.
Thank you.
And so, I was sitting here thinking like, wow, Jermaine. Look, even though I'm talking to you,
Yes.
my mind kept saying, Jermaine, she's sitting in front of you.
Oh,
the same lady who has
glory to
encouraged you
God.
all your
Thank
life.
you. Thank
So I kind of feel like this is my aunt, LaShun.
Okay, yeah, okay, I'll take it.
So I was like, yeah, that's my aunt. Whether she want to be or not,
Yes.
she is my aunt.
I'm your aunt today. Look, I'm forever. It's signed and sealed.
Okay, see, y'all heard it, right?
Yes.
This is my aunt now.
This is my nephew.
Well, speaking of loving your music, I decided to reach out to someone else that I know loves your music, and I asked them if they would have a question for you. So they submitted a question to me. I should have two people. So I'm going to share the first one with you. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So this question comes from Stephen of Virginia.
Okay. Hi, Stephen.
He says, if there were 3 artists that you've modeled your technique after, who would they be? How have each of these artists influenced you musically and artistically?
3 artists. Now, one is not an artist, but they need to be.
Okay.
That's my mom. Lynette Hawkins Stevens and Aretha Franklin. So if I had to have one that is an artist and make it 3, it would be Mahalia Jackson.
Okay. How have they influenced you?
Mahalia influenced me, I got to say through my mom, because she played Mahalia Jackson and the Caravans and that genre of music. And when I was in high school, I heard Aretha Franklin. Also in high school, the Hawkins family. And I didn't know who Lynette was, but I loved that lady who had that, the Lord, whatever song that was she was singing. God is, whatever. It was from the gut, and it was powerful. And I was like, who is that chick? That lady.
You gotta know who that is, huh?
And of course, Aretha Franklin goes without saying. The way she would hit the note and come off of it and then go back to it and just smooth, and I admired all three. And I think I have a little bit of all three at times. So that's how they've influenced me.
Okay. Now, so how do you feel about your position as in the gospel industry right now? I mean,
Do I have one?
I think you do. I think you're very iconic.
I've never seen myself as a star.
Really?
I've never seen myself as a diva. I just wanted to sing. Man, I love singing. And I don't think I have a position. I mean, somebody else have to tell me that. I don't know. I'm just one in the cut.
But since you said you just love singing, what would you be doing if you weren't singing?
Dead.
What do you think?
Dead. Yeah, dead.
Really?
Spiritual or
So
naturally.
you've never thought about it?
No. High school. I knew I wasn't going to college.
You just knew I was going to
I was
sing.
sick of school.
You sound like
I
me.
wanted to be with my mama. You know, and it's not that I didn't have the brain or that I'm not smart or intelligent. I didn't like school. And when I was traveling with my Uncle Gene Martin, who was with A.A. Allen with the big tent, when I got bit traveling 3 months with him all over California, I was like, pack my bags.
I'm gone.
Give me the suitcase and a mic.
You were out, huh?
I'm ready.
I cannot leave without talking about your sisters.
Please.
The Anointed Pace sisters.
Yes.
Which were, see, you're my favorite gospel. I'm gonna tell you, everything is wrapped around the Pace right now.
Oh, no.
Because you are my favorite gospel singer, and they're my favorite group. They were my first introduction to gospel music.
Wow.
And I remember when they would do what I call this
Excuse me.
melodic ad-libs at the end of the song. That's what I always call it.
Them girls bad, ain't they?
Ain't they? I remember thinking to myself as a little boy, like, wow, what is that? Because my mother had just gotten saved.
Wow.
And I was about maybe 12. And I heard that at the end of the song, and I was like, oh my God, what is that?
What in the world?
I got to, and that started me to singing. I started singing some of the old Pace Sisters songs, like Be a Fence and Safety Zone, and all of those things. So that's how I got started. And, which is leading me into my next question, and I have to tell you this.
Okay.
I have to tell you this. This comes from my mother, because she loves you too.
Okay. Excuse me.
No, you're good. She says that, I was like, Mama, I'm going to interview LaShun. I said, I'm going to tell her what you told me. And she was like, okay, I guess. She told me, she said, you know, LaShun helped me raise y'all. So I was like, yeah, that's solidification right there. That is my auntie. Yeah, you helped raise me, you just don't know it.
Okay.
But you know, after all of that ministering to people, and like I said about my family and all these other families that you continue to minister to, who ministers to LaShun?
Every artist that has been out there, or that is out here, have ministered to me, especially when my daughter passed, 2001. June and my brother, her husband, we call him brother, Dennis Martin, They moved me in literally into their house. And every day she put on this, I think it was on cable, just gospel music 24/7.
Okay.
Every artist that came on for those days that I was there ministered to me. Richard Smallwood, I can't start naming names, but they ministered to me song after song. You are the strength of my life. You are the Lord is blessing me. I can't name the artists. Keith Wonderboy, Johnson, and it goes on and on. And while I was laying there, believe this or not, the Holy Spirit asked me, God said, do you trust me in this? And I was weeping. I said, yes, Lord. He said, then, what he said, if you trust me in this, like accept this. The moment we finished our conversation, LaShun Pace came on with Just Because God Said It. I was through. It was like conversation, the music, just because God said it. Because it was the sanctioning of, I allowed this. I called your baby home. She was going through a lot. And just because God said it came on, and I don't listen to me. So, but anyway, everybody out there ministered to me.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Because, it just goes to show that in this industry, everything that you do does count. Because there's always someone on the other end who's listening to it. And at the time, I tell people this even when we speak, is that my motto is death and life in the power of the tongue, which is, of course, from the Bible. And I did not realize the true meaning of that phrase until I started doing this. And I remember everything I was speaking would start to come to pass and come to pass. And it was like, Jermaine, you have to know it first. Not just believe it, you have to know it first in order for anyone else to get it or to understand the whole purpose of your show.
Wow.
Because sometimes you can't actually tell a person the show or tell them what it's really about.
Right.
But when you get it, you just get it.
Yes. But you said something so golden to me. Everything you do does count.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I was married at the time, and my husband wanted me to go out and branch out on my own. But I had to seek the Lord first. And he said to me, if you allow your sisters to go first, I'll bless your ministry. Of course, he didn't want to hear that. He was like, I was like, well, then he eventually said, well, if that's what he said, we've got to do what he said. And so I did like 2 or 3 albums with my sisters and allowed them us to be one. Then I branched out, and I know that's one of the reasons why my ministry is blessed, my career is blessed.
Do you remember how you felt at that time? Like, was there any anxiety?
Oh, yes, I was like, I'm leaving my sister. But we would come together and sing different albums with each other. But that was a tearing away. And my dad was like, who you think you are, Michael Jackson? I was like, no, sir.
Wow. I can imagine it can only be very hard when you're having a call on your life. And then, the entire family's called to ministry. We already know that. And then for you to move, to the side, it seemed like it would be very difficult. I know I would be afraid.
It was.
Do you ever still look back and be looking for them?
I really wish sometimes they were there, because sometimes you travel places and you don't hear what you used to hear. You be like, oh, well, that's not the basis. Keep it moving.
plus, the vocals. Like if you're singing together, where my part is.
Yes.
I know what part I can hold. I know who can hold their part and who can't. All those type of things.
I have to hold myself together because my looks look worse than what I'm saying. Because it looks like I'm saying, shut up, but I'm not. I'm saying like, what is wrong?
Like
that's not the right part.
Yeah, you one of them people that make that face.
So I have to go like,
what's that?
Okay, no. Come on, come back.
Yeah, but
there's no, I got to bark with that, never a bite.
I always call it the LaShun Pace Yale. Sometimes I say the LaShun Pace scream. Whichever one come out of your LaShun Pace holler.
Oh.
When you do your little, I'm like, oh, something's going on right there.
Oh,
I don't know
goodness.
what it is, and that's what I want to know.
Okay.
Like when you go there to that place, I really feel like this. Mm-hmm. When a person is singing, they can do a lot of acrobatics and stuff like that, and they may just be doing it just to be doing it. But I've never felt that with you. I've always felt like everything that you did had purpose, and it would touch, like certain notes would touch the person, and you know, if they needed a healing, it touched where that healing needs to be.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I've always said I thought was your signature. When you go, I can't do it. I wish I could, but I can't.
I can't either, not right now.
But when you do,
Please don't ask me.
what's going on at that moment?
I'm lost and engulfed in just heaven, and what's going on with me spiritually, and maybe what I've come through naturally or what I'm in at that moment. Like I said, singing is an outlet for me, and then I'm singing to God and for God, and then I know what I'm getting back from Him, that strength that I need for the next breath, and it's like, yeah, and it just come out.
And I'm
I
telling you.
don't know, man. It just come out. That's all I can say.
You just have to let it out.
Yes,
Wow.
it's a moment. I can't define it. It's a moment where you're in. It's like, okay, I know y'all here and y'all listening to us, but this is for me.
Right.
You know, and I guess that's why they feel it.
Yeah, because you know, I think that a lot of times when something is ministered to yourself first, everyone feels it, you know, because you forget about it. You forget all about the people. You forget about, and that's to me when God can come in and really.
I've never felt that until now.
Wow.
I've had a lot of interviews in my life, but I've never really felt now what people feel until just now, because it's like it's for me now. That's just where I've been, I guess. Yeah. This one is for me. I love y'all, and I know you enjoying it, but this one is for me. I got to get this one for me.
Yeah. Okay, so this question comes from Angela of Texas.
Hey, Angela.
She says, "You've sung many songs over the years, For My Good being my personal favorite, for it helps me to understand that the making of my testimony is due to all I've been through, which ultimately has been for my good. With that said, which song would be the testimony of LaShun Pace?"
I know the Lord will make a way. I think I was with EMI then. And the reason I say that, the night before the Lord took my daughter, we was at a family night at Murphy's house.
Okay.
And anyway, long story short, we was on our way home. And in the car, my daughter just says, Zania, just for no reason. And she said, "Mommy, I miss Dorothy." Dorothy was a young girl at the church who was killed in a car accident, head on. And they was around the same age. And I said, "Oh, really?" And I was like freaking out. I was like, why is she missing Dorothy? But anyway, while driving, the song just hit my spirit. Why? I don't know. And I'm driving, I said, "I know the Lord." Just sing it to me. That chick says, "I know the Lord." I said, "What? You know about that song?" Wow. She said, "Mom, we sang that at my dad's church when we go visit with him." Wow. And then I recorded it. You know, she was gone. I said, "I'm going to do this song." Wow. And that song has a lot of meaning to me. I know the Lord will make a way.
Make a way.
Oh, yes, He will.
Somehow.
They sung it in convocation one night with Bishop Hogan, not my bishop. And Pastor Fleming got up. And he just did a little bit and tried to sit down. And the Holy Ghost walked up in there with all kind of guns and weapons and was like, "Y'all ain't finna go up out of here."
Shot him down.
No, it was over. OBA. And I was trying to dance nice. And I got to think about my baby, and I think about what I've gone through, the sickness. Last year I was about like this, and God healed me.
Amen.
And I said, "You know what? I got to come out this hat." I went to a corner, and I grabbed that wall, and I was crying. We danced a while off of "The Lord Will Make a Way."
Make a way. Somehow.
So that's, I love that one.
Wow. Well, you know what? I was debating doing this, but I'm going to end it just like I feel in my heart.
Okay.
And it's, it's nothing so big and great about the song, but I remember this is one of the songs I sang the most and played the most of LaShun Pace. We worship you.
Are you for real?
Right. We magnify your name.
Listen at you.
We give you glory, Lord.
Yes.
And the honor too.
Yes, yes, yes.
We worship you. We magnify your name.